are the best prison jobs, Mr. Wildman?
I would actually say I haven't done all of them, and you've got specialised jobs, but I'd say the top of the list for jobs to get into, when you get into prison, when you're in Towers or when you're in county, there's not much point in really getting a job, unless you just want to pass time by. It's the only job I actually did in Towers, and I did it for long days. They let me serve food, and you know, we ate all the good stuff on the trays. And
I'll put the videos of that story in the description box.
Yeah, but once you get into prison and you've got a sentence, the first thing you want to do is get into a routine. And I would personally say best job to get into, or one of the best jobs. Each job has its own perk, and I'll go through the list. If you get into the kitchens, it's weird hours. Depends what shift you do. But if you're doing breakfast, they're waking you up at 4 o'clock in the morning because you've got to go and cook the bread. Well, you don't. I mean, there's a whole lot of you do it, and it depends what you're doing. You could be peeling spuds, you could be opening cans of beans, you could be doing anything. But they have their own cooks, and they are like proper cooks too. But in general, I'd say the kitchen is a very good job to do, because the perks of that is, the simple fact is, once you've fed everyone, you have half hour before you go to your dorm or your yard or respective wherever you are or your cell, and you get to cook your own food, and the cooks will do something special. I mean, you could have Spanish omelettes. If it's a Mexican guy, he'll do your best breakfast burritos you've ever had. And I mean, it's proper decent food. It's sort of like home from home food. It's not like the food they give you is up to it. I mean, it's standard, you know what I mean? But by the time you get it, it's cold a lot of the time, especially if you're getting it on a tray and you're locked down, whatever. But when you're out there, you're getting it fresh and it's hot, and it's a good perk. And plus, it pays good money too. Well, when I say good money, it's basically, it's like you start off $1 a day, which is ridiculous. But your perks are, you've got access to cheese, you've got access to yeast from the baker, and you've got access to stuff like that. If you get some cheese home and you get some yeast home, you can turn around and flog it. If you're not making hooch yourself, flog the cheese. You get cooked chicken. It's processed chicken, but you get bags of that. If you've got a way to getting it out, but I mean, you've got to get your foot in the kitchen and be there for a few months and work out the best way to do it. Because I've seen people go in there. I mean, you have to wait a month to get in the kitchen, but once you get in the kitchen, people think, oh, I'm going to get this, I'm going to get that. Well, the first thing they do when you walk out is they frisk you. And if you've got a big lump of cheese down your fucking pants, they're going to get you. The best way to actually do it is you go around to the tables where you're serving, and you strap the cheese or whatever at the bottom of the wait's table, and then you tell someone it's there. You give them a percentage to get it, and they get it home. That way you keep your job and everything's good. I'd say the second best job would be either laundry or property. Laundry is good because, I mean, it depends how you want your appearance. A lot of the Mexicans like looking crisp and stuff like that. They look like, it's called getting your visits clothes on. And the best thing about laundry is you can go in laundry, and I mean, literally, if you wanted to, you could have a new, it was orange in Arizona. You could have new orange pants, new orange shirt, and you could, it feels good to, you get a shower, you go there, you do your work, you have a shower, you come and you put nice clothes on. Still only orange, you know what I mean?
Especially if you've got a visit.
Especially if you've got a visit, yeah, to get your visit clothes. You don't tend to, well, I did the laundry for a little bit. And what you tend to do is, once a week, you'll go in and you double up on a t-shirt. So like, you've got a new t-shirt underneath and you've got your old t-shirt on top. So when you get home, by the time, if you do it for a while, you'd end up with like a few pairs of pants and you'd end up with like a few t-shirts and stuff like that. But the laundry, it's a hot job because you're working and it's like a lot of tumble dryers and it's steam and it's pretty hard work really. But depends how you want to look in prison. It's a good job. I'd say probably the best job for perks, or one of the best jobs, is working in the property. Now property is if you've got folks on the outside who've sent you porno mags or stuff that you're allowed in, it comes through property. And also if the guard's got you on a charge and you'd have your TV and your Walkman and your fan took away, it goes to property. Good thing about working in property is you're the person who sees it. So say like 5 or 6 porno mags, but what's too explicit, they won't let it in. You get a note saying it's being forfeited because it's too explicit. If you know a guy in property, he can get his hands on them and he can bring it out to you. And the ironic thing is you've got to pay for it. So your parents or whoever sent you the porno, well, probably not your parents, but your mates, whoever sent you the porno mags, have paid for them, and then you've got to pay for them again. But if you want the mags, it's better than getting them through in the fucking trash. My personal best job I did, it's classed as a specialised job, but when I was in Kingman, I was on a dog handler course. It was relatively new. It was one of the first prisons to actually do it. And basically what they did was, they'd have like stray dogs. Now if any dogs stray in America, they won't put it down straight away. They have 60 days, and then they'll euthanize it. So what the prison would do is, they'd get a few of them, and they'd have people come in. It's not the actual prison, it's some charity, I forgot what it was called. Say it's called Love the Pets. And what they'd do is, they'd send dog handlers in and say there was actually 6 of us, and the 6 of us had a dog each. And we'd have a cage next to our bunks, and we'd have our own little dorm, just the 6 of us, and a cage, and we'd have a back door there where you'd have to press the bell, and the guard would let you out for the dog to go and do its business. But that was a very rewarding job, and through the day you'd walk the dog around and they'd bring dog handlers and they'd actually show you how to make the dog sit, how to make the dog stand, stay. A lot of it's sign language, 90% of it's sign language. And after 16 weeks, people would come and see the dogs, and they'd go to a new home, and then you'd go to the visitation room and you'd do a little show with the dog, and you'd explain to the people that what the dog likes, what it doesn't like, whether it's suitable to be around other dogs, whether it's suitable to be around children, etc. Which all dogs, once you train it, should be suitable for all the above if you train it correctly. And then they adopt it, so you've actually saved the dog's life, which is very rewarding. But it's kind of like, after a while you do it and then the dog's gone and it's just back to normal, so you kind of miss having a little pal with you, you know what I mean? But yeah, that was the best job I ever did, to be fair. But I'd say the kitchen is also good too. If you like your food, if you like to get your grub on, the kitchen is the best way to go. And there's lots of other jobs. If you're in medium camp, or if you're on your way home, you can get an outside job. Like, they go around like cutting grass and like fucking collecting on the highways, collecting like rubbish and stuff. They go out early in the morning and they do that. I mean, they're the ones that generally, they can bring you drugs in for you. You tell them where roughly you're going to be, you have a package left for you there. Nowadays it's completely changed because they have like fucking helicopters, then fucking remote controlled helicopters, and they drop the drugs off for you. But back then, it was the easiest way to get the drugs in is you'd tell people that you're on such highway, and they'd drop a package off for you, and you tell your friends who were with, look, this package is my package. You break them off a little bit for whoever gets it. They fucking pop it up their ass, and when you get in, you break bread with them, and you got your drugs in. That's if you want to do that type of thing. But yeah, well, that's jobs on prisons. It's but it is good. It's definitely good to actually get a job in prison, because otherwise you've got too much time on your hands. You know what I mean? I mean, you got all type of hustles. I sew, I made burrito, I cooked, I did. You keep yourself busy, because if you've got too much time on your hands, you're gonna get in trouble.
And there's a big difference between jobs in prison and jobs in jail. So in jail is where you're completely unsentenced. It's called remand in England. Now, under the US Constitution, when slavery was abolished, they said that they would still allow forced labour for people who were convicted of crimes. So if you're technically unsentenced, they can't force you to work. That's why you see hardly anyone that's got jobs in jail. But in prison, they can force you to work. So in the jail, for example, Sheriff Arpaio was running it when we were there, and the people who did work, they did have some short-term sentence prisoners in the jail system.
Yeah.
So they had them working on clean-up crews on the sides of the roads. They'd have the stripes on and t-shirts saying, like, you know, Sheriff Joe has got me off the drugs and shit like this.
They're the ones in Durango, weren't they? They were in media.
Yeah, yeah. And they'd also have people like digging graves for indigent people, people who died, didn't have any money, digging graves for them and stuff like that. And then you'd also have your chow servers. So, like Wildman said, one day him and this other big guy were serving the chow, and they ate all the little dessert things. Description box below this video will have that full story. But then when you go over to the prison system, the pay range then on the jobs was from like, what, 10 cents to 50 cents an hour, was
10
it?
cents, 50 cents, the best job.
What's the highest paying?
I actually, the dog handling was the best highest paid job. I was on $12 a week.
$12 a week at 50
Yeah.
cents an hour?
And it was about, that was 75 cents an hour. The dog.
75 cents?
Yeah.
Because some jobs, like, you won't work your job, but if the staff member's cool, he'll just let you file your hours anyway, don't they, and stuff
Yeah.
like that.
But some could be asses, and some of them, you won't get your 10. I mean, some starts at 10 cents a fucking hour, for God's sake. But like fucking, once you're on 50, 75 cents an hour, and you know what you're doing, I mean, you're not going to get out fucking rich, but it's canteen for you.
Yeah, I was in the clipper room in the fucking for a bit, whereby in the kitchen staff, you're like on the lowest rung. So all these dudes come in and all the trays come in, you got to spray all the trays down.
That's
it's like,
terrible, isn't it?
Yeah, it's fucking...
That's another thing, when you start in the kitchen, everyone starts in that room though.
Yeah,
You
that's
got to
true.
start there, and it's like, one side you're washing the dishes, the other side, all the trays are coming at you that fast.
Yeah.
And you just got to scrape the shit off them, and then you put them through you stack them in like milk crates, and they go through like a wash, don't they?
Yeah.
And then you got to take it from the other side. But that is a horrible job, especially when all the trays. I mean, just when you think you got the trays done, the whole load more trays fucking come at you, and they push them, and they're like just all over the fucking floor. It's a frustrating job as fuck, that. But you start from there, and then you get allocated different jobs.
And like Wildman said, you can smuggle food out, or even if you can't smuggle food out, if you're not working in the kitchen, if you've got money on your books, you've got a hook up with a kitchen worker and you pay him. I had cheese, for example, getting smuggled out, and I've got it in my vent to keep it cool so it wouldn't melt into the orange juice.
Yeah.
So
That's in Towers, the orange juice cheese.
yeah.
But in normal prison, you actually got, I mean, it's processed fucking cheese, but it was actually cheese. There was actually cheese in it. I still don't know what was that Towers fucking cheese. You put it on your windowsill and it would just go to oil, wouldn't it?
Some chemical concoction, wasn't it? So that's your best prison jobs, ups and downs of them. If you've got any more questions, put them in the comment section. We appreciate all your support from Widnes.
Yeah, tell us what you want to hear from us, because we've been doing it quite a while now, and I mean, not every day is like, you know, I've told a lot of stories about fights and I've been through the whole range of things. I need a bit of input so I can actually know what you guys want to hear. So tell us what you want to hear, and I'm sure I've got a story for you. I mean, but not every day is eventful. Some days you just sat on your fucking ass, you know what I mean? I mean, you don't want to hear about that, do you? So like, tell us what you really want to hear, and we'll go through them, and we'll respond as whatever you want to hear about.
Most of the stuff we post is actually come in off the back of what you guys have requested. You guys have really steered this channel, and we appreciate that.
Yeah, very much.